So hello and good evening, this is Ruth Pozuelo from Curbal.com, and today I'm going to show you how to reuse Power Query steps for multiple workbooks. Now, on a previous video I have shown you how to reuse Power Query steps for multiple sheets on a workbook. So you have one workbook that has multiple sheets, and we clean one sheet with Power Query and we reuse those steps for all the sheets in the workbook. And you have asked me a lot of times, like, is it possible to do it for multiple workbooks? And the answer is yes, it is. And this is what this video will do. Now, the video starts where I have already created the Power Query steps. So this I do on the previous video. You know, the video where I show you how to reuse the steps for multiple sheets. So I will post a link on the description box in case you want to see that. I also have a longer video where I explain both things in one go, so I will put that link down below too in case you want to see everything in one go. But if you are just interested on seeing how to reuse Power Query steps for multiple workbooks, this is for you. The video starts where I've already cleaned the workbook, one workbook, and I will show you how to clean multiple ones, okay? So this is the continuance from the previous video I've done. So without any more delay, we just start. So now our next goal is to get these for all the workbooks that we have in our folder. We have downloaded for 2015, 16, 17 and 14. I know that one of these has the wrong name actually. So we want to load for all of those. So for that we have to go back to Power Query. And we're going to do this also in steps so you can see how I actually created it. I didn't create everything in one go. I just did it step by step to make sure that everything was working. So what we are going to do now is we're actually going to import a folder. So we go more and we take folders because we want to import all the Excel files at once. This is the address for the folder. Here they are. We say edit. And we want to have only Excel files. So here we have all our Excel files. Let's see what I have that one. Otherwise I can do like that. Because I have it open in there. That's why it's showing, and it's going to give us trouble. So why not take it away in case you have it open so you don't get into trouble for that. So another thing that I did to make sure that everything was working was to actually just select one of these instead of selecting all of them at once. And it's just to check one by one, is this actually working? So what we want to do is to actually apply our function to this new query, and this is airport data. And to do that, we need to modify our function a little bit. I'm going to show you. Let's duplicate it. And give it a name. This is our workbook. So it's going to clean our workbook. But if we go in here, let's look at what this is doing. We have a variable for, or a function for city, so it will go into the list and add a new city for every row. But what we have here is actually the name of the Excel file. So we need to have also a function for it, a variable for it. And we want this function to actually read that from here, because we do have the name of the Excel file, so we can actually feed it into that. So if we don't filter anything, it will actually go in here, right, and pick that up. So what we need to do is actually to create again another variable for the name of the Excel file, of the workbook. So this is how we're going to do it. We're going to create a new variable called name, and we are going to add it in here. So we just concatenate our new variable name. Okay. So now we have a variable name that will give us the name of the workbooks, and a variable city that will give us the name of the sheets. So done. And as usual, test it out. Make sure that it's working. So we copy the name of the workbook in there, and now we put the name of the city, any city. And is working. Perfect. So now we have a function that is functioning. Let's go to our, let's put that there, to our airport data. And we need to do one more thing in here. Let's go up. And, or we can do it here, it doesn't matter. What we need to do is to actually extract the sheets in from the folder. And for that, we're going to use a function called Excel Workbook. I have explained that on another video, so make sure you check that out if you don't know how that works. So what we want in there is to actually expand on the content. And we expand there. And here we need to clean, so we get only sheets. So in this case, we have, again, all the sheets for this workbook, because we have filtered that in here, okay? Just to make sure that everything works with one workbook, then we will import the rest. So what we want to do now is to invoke our function that will call in the name of the Excel workbook and the name of the sheet. So very, very easy. Invoke function. We go to clean workbooks. Here is the name of the function, which was on name, and then here is the name of the sheet. And now we wait for Power Query to do its magic, and here we have it. And is working perfectly. Fantastic. Okay, so now we are going to go here where we actually filter just from one workbook, and we're going to filter on multiple ones. So we go in there, delete that one. And here's the thing, I tried to import all of those, and Power Query said that it was a lot of process and that it couldn't really do it. So I am going to import only 2 of them, okay? And the other one, I will actually leave it for now. If that is the case, and this is something that you actually need, what you can do is to copy this function and import the other one and then append. I'm going to show you how to do that anyhow for another reason. But for now, we're going to just import 2016. I think it's 15 and 16, even if it says something else. So now we have them in there. We expand, and then here we have everything, and then we expand all the way. And we don't want to load that anymore. We just want to load our new airport data. Let's see if it's working as it should. And here we have everything. It imported perfectly. I'm thinking that we didn't clean that up. We should definitely do that. So we pick the ones that we want to keep, and we do remove other. And now we have to do the same cleaning steps we did. Not cleaning, but the cleaning is already done, but just changing the data type to number and to text. I am wondering, because I did that on a 32-bit machine, I am wondering if it would actually be quite cool to test. Let me test this and see, and if it will load the three. This perhaps my machine that was not. This one we cannot load, and I'll show you in a second why. Oh dear. We don't do it right. Let's just. It's just too much. But we have everything we need. Now, close and apply, and this will get cleaned up. So now we have year. Do not summarize, please. And we have the passengers, and we have the airport. So before we have just for 1 year, now we have for 2 years. So this is going good. And we see that the number of passengers increased from 2015 to 2016. Wonderful. Okay. Airports, no, we don't do that. This is enough. Okay, now look at this. This is quite amazing. In here, if we go to the 2017 data, this is what they've done. What they do is every month they add a new row. Okay, so if you want to have fresh data, instead of having the same format and just putting zeros, they just don't put anything and they just add a new row, which is, yeah, not that good for our purpose. Now, there are ways of actually automatizing these so it will work for every sheet. Just because this was just for fun, I did not want to spend any more time. But we cannot use the same query cleaning function for these because it's missing columns, okay? So what I did, it was just very, very quickly transformed the query so it will work just with these two. Not a very clean solution, but it can be a really good exercise for you guys to try to fix these so it adjusts no matter how many columns they are. So I will just copy the function. You will be able to download this file so you will see what I did, but it's just remove columns that did not exist and comments and that kind of stuff. So what we're going to do is we are actually going to copy, we do a blank query, and I'm going to copy my cleaning process for the current year. You will be able to see it. And I'm using file path on my computer. Just a second, I need to change that so it looks like this. I'm using a variable, a parameter there, but let's not complicate things. And so this one will actually clean workbook current year. And for that, what we're going to do is we're going to do a duplicate of this one. And this is airport data current year. Current year. And we are going to remove this filter, which is a filter that selects which sheet we're going to work on, and we're just going to work on this year's sheet. And we need to change the invoked custom function because it should say current year. Now again, you can try to do these without having to have different functions. I think that would be good. Okay, so you have to close the Excel file so it doesn't, you cannot work in Power Query while Excel is open. And here it is complaining because we changed the function. Let's do it like that instead. We will do it from scratch. Name 1. Those functions are a little bit tricky. When I was preparing for this tutorial, I've actually changed the name of, let's see what it is. It was called city, and I changed on my function to airport. And when I refresh the data sources, it just didn't apply. So be careful with the functions. Sometimes you just need to redo, like in here, right? There was no error. It was just a matter of just letting Power Query. Perhaps it just catches everything. So I don't know. It doesn't do the function all the time, and that's why changes are not applied, and you just get weird results. So let's do the field types again. Whole number, and that one together with that text. So, and this is what I meant. What you can do when, if Power Query says like, I cannot process, this is too much data to process, you can do this in steps, and then you can go up here and say, okay, append. Because now we're going to append 2015 with 2016 with current year. to be able to get everything. And these we don't need to load anymore. So our actual data is this one up here. The rest is just functions needed to clean. And now we load again. And here we have it. We have 2015, 2016, and 2017. How nice is that? So because we have this was not so good. Let me do that. It's just a mismatch because I was copying from my sample file. This one needs to be named month. So these two columns will get appended, otherwise they won't if they are not called the same. So this is something that you need to remember. So perfect. So now, because we have a year and month, something that we do want to do is to have, time intelligent calculations. And for that, you need a calendar. So we're going to add one calendar to our file. Let's save this in case something crashes. So I have a video on how to create calendars. I have actually an entire playlist of all the calendars I created, which are quite a few. So if you don't know how to do this, make sure to check those out. What I have done is I have copied the code for the calendar, which will be available to you either from the videos that are already there or if you download this file. So don't worry about that. So this code creates a calendar, and we're going to call it calendar. And what we want to do, let's see, in there, we have 2015, 16, and 17. So let's do 15. This is the dates available in the calendar. So we want to have from 2015 01 to today's date. And the magic again will happen. And here we have the entire calendar. Another thing that we need to do, or we want to do, is to actually create a date to be able to connect those two tables. So we're going to add a custom column, and what we're going to say is get year. And year right now is a number, right? So we need to transform that into text if we want to concatenate with something. To text. And then we want to concatenate it with month. And we want to concatenate it with 01 because we want a date. And look what happens. It happens more than I wanted. Let's see what happened. What is the issue? Okay, let's see. I always forget that one. I don't know why. So now, if you would go in here and say, give me a date like that, Power Query is going to say, are you mad? What is that? Because if you can see here, the month names are of course in Swedish. This is a Swedish data set. So what you need to do here is you need to go in there, right click, change type using local, I don't know how that is spelled, and we want to get date, and that is Swedish one. So let's go here and find Swedish from Sweden. And as you can see, it will read the Swedish names. It's like super cool. And voila, it's actually giving us the correct date. So let's load that too. And everything loaded correctly, which is quite nice. We go to relationships and we are going to match date with date. And once we've done that, we're actually going to hide year and month from here because we don't want that. We're also going to create our total passengers measure, which was just the sum of the passengers, and we hide that one. And we're going to hide date because we don't want the user to use it from here. We want them to use it from the calendar. In the calendar, we need to do a few things. So let's go through that. As you can see, there are some columns called sort year, month, year, week, and we need to fix this in order to Power BI be able to sort this correctly. So month name, we want to sort by month number. Month number, we don't want to summarize. Quarter number, we don't want to summarize. And week number, the same. Year, the same. Now, day name, sort day name, year, month, year, month, year, week, year, week, and year, quarter, year, quarter. And these, we want to hide them. Our users do not need to see those. These are just for us. To be able to provide a proper calendar. So these should now work accordingly. If we add month name and we drill, we will see that February had slightly more than January. You can go up, see how it was here, or we can just expand everything. And you can see the seasonality quite easily, right? And everything is displayed in order. But you can see January is doing awesome. This is great. Good for Sweden. Awesome. Yes. So this is all for today. I really hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, let me know by liking it or by sharing it. I would really appreciate that. And if you have any comments, questions, suggestions about this video, let me know in the comment box or any of the social channels listed below. So have a fantastic evening. Bye.